what is your favourite analog EQ? And I will say it's this one here, the Thermos V3 by Handcrafted Labs. And there's a reason I say it's this. And like, bear in mind, actually, you know, I've got some real good EQs here. I've got a Maselec MEA2, a Vertigo VSE, an Alicia Muse EQ, or Musec. What else? Buzz Audio REQ 2.2. You know, these are some serious EQs. This is the most affordable, or the cheapest out of all of those. You know, I've also got a Maag EQ4M and a Kush Clariphonic, but they're relatively kind of smaller EQs. They're not as, you know, they're not like 4 or 5 bands. Oh, and I've got an SPL PQ as well. So they're, you know, this is a relatively cheap EQ at $3,000. But my God, honestly, of all the EQs that I've just mentioned, which one out of all those other EQs has mid-side, filters? What else does it have? It's got shelved and paramedic, you know. Which one has mid-side built into it? Built into the EQ. This has mid-side built into it. So you've not got to get a mid-side decoder, encoder, you know, run it through a Kush Clariphonic MS or, where is it? The SSL Fusion. It already has mid-side built into it. So it's got the encoding done. So you can flip it into mid-side, or you can use it in standard stereo. And like, it's one of those EQ. It's such a nice passive EQ. I mean, I can push. It goes up to 9 dB, and the also as well is the stepped increments are so sweet. They're like at 0.25 dB steps. I think it's even probably, yeah. The first one is 0.33 dB steps. Then up to 2 dB is 0.3, up to 2.5, yep, 2 steps to 2.5s. Then it goes into 2.5s. It's so unique in the way that, yeah, and then from 3 dB to 4 dB is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. So it's 0.2 dB steps, which means from a mastering perspective, you can be so precise, because 0.2 dB does make a difference when mastering. So we can, you know, it's not a case of like, let's say 3 dB, then 3.5 dB. So it's in 0.5 increments. This is so detailed in the kind of increments from 0 to 9 dB. And you can go to 9 dB. A lot of EQs, if you go 9 dB, you know about it. It doesn't sound great when you go 9 dB. It sounds so sweet. You can go as high as you like and it sounds great. And it's really, honestly, it's one of those EQs that you've really got to hear to kind of believe how good it is. You know, you got filters built into it. You know, there's very few EQs which have all of what this has. Especially mid-side. There's very few EQs that have mid-side built into it. But for $3,000, it's incredible how much is built into this EQ for the price. And that plays a part in why it is my favourite. I love it. And it's the one that I recommend to people to get if they're on a budget. You know, the thing is I'm not necessarily on a budget here. I just love this EQ. I would happily have, look, if someone offered me a Maselec MEA2 and said, Paul, do you want to swap that for a Maselec MEA2? Yes, I would. I would swap it all day long. I don't use the mid-side and I don't use the filters. I use it as 4-band EQ. It's as good as a Maselec MEA2, and it really is as good, and it sounds great. The only reason I would be swapping it for an MEA2 isn't because one's better than the other. The Maselec isn't better technically than the Thermos V3. But you know, a Masalec's a Masalec. I've got one next door, and I love it. It's brilliant. The only reason I don't have one in here is because that's brilliant, honestly, and it's half the price, maybe more. A Masalec MEA2 is 7,000, I think, whereas a Thermos V3 is 3,000, and it's so good. Honestly, check it out because I highly recommend it.